Welcome to the Collecting Insight podcast. I'm Lori.
And I'm Sara.
And we're here to share our exploration into being human.
Inspired by coffee meetups, we dive into topics that confound, mystify, and inspire us, leading to a space where we can better understand and enjoy this precious life.
Our perspectives are definitely distinct, but it's the intersection between them that our most amazing conversations and insights erupt.
We are so excited you're here. Let's get started. Hello, Lori.
Hi, Sara.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. Waiting for a little bit warmer weather around here, but
I know it is a little bit chillier here today, which I for some reason I slightly enjoy. I don't know why, but I'm happy that it's going to.
You've had a lot of work too, a lot of like indoor stuff probably, right?
That's true. So I'm like, let it rain and let it be cold, which is so nice for everyone else. No, but yes.
Well, in Vermont, they say since January, we've had something like 27 rainy weekends where there's been precipitation.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Do you know that on Saturdays?
I didn't know.
Saturdays?
I didn't know how many. That's amazing. As you think about sort of what we call, most of us call the work week and the weekend, maybe we need to rethink this. Maybe.
Right.
Yes, if Saturday's going to be the rainy day. Yeah.
Yes.
So today we're taking on a listener question with our Insight Exchange. So as always, please continue to send these in because we so enjoy them. You ready to get right to it, Lori?
Sure.
All right.
Do it.
So here is the question. Why do we focus on our failures and not our successes? You see this in the workplace, in schools, and in our own lives. What causes this, and how can we turn it around?
Yeah. I love this question because I feel that all of us walk around focusing more on, our negative aspects of our lives or our failures. And I think it's pretty common. And I think historically our brains were wired to prioritize threats, like evolutionarily noticing dangers. If a predator in the olden days was coming after you, like it was important to be aware of that and pay attention to the negative danger, right? And that's actually called negativity bias now. And it just means we pay more attention to negative experiences because they could pose a threat while positive ones are seen as less urgent, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that it's like now in our day and age, it's cultural conditioning. Like if you think about being in school and you're in first grade and you're taking your first like spelling test or a reading test or whatever, and you get it back from a teacher and what's circled, not all the ones you got right, the ones that you got wrong are in red, right?
Okay, that's such an easy fix.
It is.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
But how long have we done that?
I know.
In our world, it's like, like this is what you have to improve, and so it's like it's really a Western cultural bias thing, I think, and we're wired from the time we're young.
Yes. Okay, I love that so much. Only because thank you so much for giving that example. Because I'm like, in what other areas are all of us doing this? Are all of us highlighting? I'm going to say with the red pen, highlighting the negatives. So thank you for that. For me, that just kind of blew my mind. I'm like,
right. And I also was reading something else when I was researching this, that in business, they say you're supposed to give 5 positive comments to 1 constructive criticism so that the person that you're working with on your team, feels like they want to keep going and they don't feel negatively about, sometimes you just have to call a spade a spade. Sometimes it is what it is, right? We can't do that all the time, but it would be nice to keep in the back of our heads, I think, sometimes when we're working with others,
I have heard that definitely in business. And I think we all, speaking as business people, I think we hear that in a variety of spaces, and it requires us almost to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when we're moving so quickly, you're sort of in this continuous improvement process all the time in your mind. So the things you're just sort of putting out fires, it's like bing, 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 bing. So it requires us to slow down a tad.
Right.
We can recognize the positive parts of
Right.
our business or organization. So totally, I
Right.
love that.
I mean, another reason I think that we focus on the negative too, and this is, we've talked about this so many times, but like, like comparing ourselves to others
Yeah.
and, social media,
Yeah.
like comparing your like blooper reel to someone else's highlight reel
Yes.
and thinking like,
Yes.
wow, like, it's so easy to do. And so that's in our faces too.
Totally.
And I think that, in our society also many people are prone to like this all or nothing thinking or like
Hmm.
filtering, so they're magnifying failures and dismissing their successes, and it's a common pattern in like anxiety and
Yeah.
depression. Also appears in everyday mental habits of people that aren't depressed or anxious. I know many people in my life like this, and it
Mhm.
it literally drives me crazy. Like it drives me crazy. It's
Yeah.
like there's one little thing that happens, a blip, and it's like the world's coming to an
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
And, I think it's really difficult to turn that around, but I think if you make an effort to just focus on the successes, like say, "Okay, this week I'm gonna look back on my successes. Think about what I did that made me proud, for the
Hmm.
week."
Hmm.
And focus on those things. It's
Yeah.
like you can have this, like, sort of mental self-practice.
It's interesting you bring up, and certainly this was part of my life and my anxiety. But it's, it also, to me, this might sound strange, but when we face failure, we face the uh, indefinite nature of being. We face the uncontrollable, the fact that life in itself is really not predictable or controllable. And so
Yeah.
none of us right now knows what's going to happen in the next minute. And I think in failure, we kind of come face to face with that.
Yeah.
And the way that we almost can avoid the discomfort of that space is
Yeah.
by focusing in, like zeroing in, because when we zero in, we're like processing, thinking about processing. It feels like we're controlling it. It feels like we have a handle on it if we think about it enough. And that's from me. And in reality, it is sort of uh being able to accept the failure as
Mhm.
being a part of life
Mhm.
that allows you, I think, to move through it more quickly.
Yeah.
We're almost
It's
avoiding it by ruminating on it.
by ruminating the same thought over
Yeah.
and over, like, yeah. And to think of failures instead of like, "Oh my god, this is awful," like, think of it, this is, what am I learning from this?
Yeah.
What have
Right.
I learned so it doesn't happen again? I
Yes.
have you heard, Roger Federer, the tennis player?
Yeah.
Have you heard that speech of his?
No.
I
Oh,
think it
yes, I think I did actually, but I
last
don't
June,
remember
like,
it.
it's
Yeah.
maybe of June
Yeah.
2024. I love it. I
Mm.
absolutely love I think he was speaking at maybe Dartmouth College,
Yeah.
and, it kinda was all over social media and the news and
Yes.
everything because it was pretty empowering, but he basically was asking the audience, like, he's a superstar,
Mhm.
right? And he's like, "How many matches do you think I've won?" 80% of my matches, he said.
Mhm.
"How many points would you think he lost to
Mm.
win 80% of the He said 50.
Oh.
And so, and like, I always go back to sports because I do
Mhm.
think it's like a microcosm of our lives, really. It's like learning how to be in response, on a sports field too.
Mhm.
It can help you,
Yeah.
in the rest of your life, to grow. And so I think in life, when we make a mistake, whether it's on a tennis court, in a meeting with someone, or even in our family life or with our friends, you make a mistake. It's like if we focus on that mistake, whatever's coming next kind of gets ruined. Even with a friend, if a friend says something that really hurts you and you're just focusing on that the whole time, it's not helping anything. Or in a meeting, if you're like someone, gives you constructive criticism and you're just curl into yourself, you're not learning and growing. So I
Mhm.
think it's really a wonderful thing when we can make a mistake and say, "Okay, next."
You're sort of talking about presence in essence, like in every
Right.
given moment. And interestingly, when I was sort of looking through thoughts on this for myself, I came across something that I'd pulled out of Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. I don't know if you've read that.
Yes, a long
Okay.
time ago, but yes.
It's same, but
Yeah.
somehow I kept my book notes, and
Yeah.
it was he said, "Accept and then act. Like whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you'd chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend, not your enemy, and this will miraculously transform your life." So that in the failure, you're just in the failure in that moment, and the next moment you are in with your friend and you are like just truly just accept it.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking to myself, what if the true metric of success is just the act of doing? Like what if the success is not the outcome, but the success is showing up,
It is.
right?
Yeah, it is.
So to,
The success is definitely showing up.
so I'm like,
I'm reading this book.
yeah,
You'd probably love it, and I know you don't read a lot of fiction, but
yeah.
called Call Her Barbie, and
Oh,
it's about the woman that invented the Barbie, and she was
yes.
basically this, COO, like, in 1955 to 70, whatever. It was kind of unheard of,
Yeah.
and this book sort of highlights the historical failures of the doll, like how it was like
Mm,
this doll was her baby, and it was like she was just so excited about it, and she could have thrown in the towel like 6 times so far in the book that I'm reading, like it,
yeah.
and most people would
Oh,
have, but she
right.
was just a dog on a bone.
Yes.
And she's like, "No, I'm gonna just try again, I'm gonna try again." And, when you fail and fail and fail and fail, and then you have some success, it's so much sweeter than if it comes easy,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
actually that process, like to me, and I think I said this in the hair salon today. Um, but I feel like everything is that. So
Mhm.
everything, if we want to call, could you call highs and lows to a certain degree failures and successes? Maybe. But if everything's ebbing and flowing, the more failures and successes you have, the stronger you are as a
Right,
person, the more confident you are to take more risks, the more sort of movement forward you have because you've been through it. It's sort of like the wheels are churning, they're going around and around. And the more they do, the better you kind of are at the end. It's when you're afraid of the failure that the wheels are not moving at all and you're
right.
stuck.
That's right. That's right.
But I love that. Because I love what you said about this
Yeah.
fictionalized character, or is it real?
Yes. Well, she was, it's like historical fiction, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm enjoying it, actually. I almost didn't read it because of the title, and then it's
yeah.
like, this is
Oh,
interesting.
that's
A friend of
great.
mine recommended it, yeah.
I just read, and I would love to have her on the podcast sometime, but True and False Magic by Phil Stultz and Elise Lunan.
Mhm.
And in it, he says something, he's talking about pruning
Mhm.
and that we prune trees, we prune our flowers, we prune plants. So we are like cutting them to let them grow even more.
Mhm.
And when I think about failure now, I think about it as pruning.
Mhm.
Like you're literally, it's a harsh like that. It's kind of a death, I guess you could say in some ways, but like you're pruning to grow more. You're failing to have, to your point, the greater success.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like, if we just lived our lives and didn't have hardships and failure,
Mhm.
it it'd be really boring.
Right. Yes.
Because it would just be kinda status quo,
Yeah. Yes.
equilibrium all the
Mhm.
time,
Yeah.
I think there's a reason for it in our lives as well as the negative,
Yeah.
it's sorta like it can kickstart us to get going again, and, like, to rev us up,
Yeah.
when we need it as
Well,
well.
I mean, if you imagined, and someone recently, but I'm not going to remember the metaphor, but it gave such a great metaphor for this because if you are able to like put yourself in the place of really having nothing negative, having everything just we
You
you're
wouldn't
just
appreciate it.
you really wouldn't. There's nothing. It almost becomes numb. You're numbed
Right.
to it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, you wouldn't appreciate it. It's true.
right.
Yeah.
And the way that it's when we suffer because of failure. It's when we start suffering because of the failure that I think it can get challenging.
Yeah.
It's in that space where we're just
Right. When you're stuck in that space.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cuz I certainly have I mean I used to consider, you know, having given a speech recently, I probably would have imagined so I stopped for a minute. Not a minute. I stopped for 10 seconds. Because something in my pages was in disarray for me. And I would have the old me, I really would have thought about that not only right after, and I stopped myself from doing this. When anyone was, because this was a 10-minute speech, you could barely tell and someone else could barely tell, but I knew anyone who came up to me after, I would have been like, "Oh, thank you, but I did have a problem. Thank you, I did." I would have noted it for every single person who talked to me after because I would have just been in the space of what I just did wrong. And I would have thought about it always. Like I would have thought about it for at least a week. I'd still be thinking about it now. And I really wasn't before I started saying this. Um, but I made a conscious effort because that was my inclination. And I made a conscious effort. I'm like, you are not going to say that. You're not
Mhm.
going to say that, except
Right.
the other 9 minutes and 50 seconds that
Great
you
job,
like,
Sarah. That's wonderful. That's huge growth,
yeah, because
to
I
do
would,
that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've always noticed, I'm going back to the sports analogies again.
no, it's good.
Sorry. But
No.
my whole life, I've always noticed, I think I might have said this before on here as well, but it's worth repeating anyway.
Yeah.
I've always noticed that the very best athletes are the one like, they make mistakes just like everyone else, but literally the thing that makes a difference between the superstars and the ones that are more mediocre is that they they don't care that they made a mistake.
Yeah.
They'll go out there and do 3 great things right next because 'cause they're not focused on it. They're
Yes.
not thinking about 2 minutes ago. They're
No.
just in the present and and so it's like nobody even notices because they're not noticing. It's like we bring attention to whatever we're putting manifesting in the world, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, I used to and I remember my friend Marianne, she she used to laugh at me when I would do this. Like, let's just say that I showed up and I had a swollen eye. Okay, let's just say for some reason because why would you have a swollen eye? My contacts were bothering me and anyway, but
Allergies,
let's say
whatever.
I had but yeah, allergies, whatever. I would show up and be like the first thing I would say is, "Hey, I have a swollen eye." And she would be like, "You're so funny, like, it's that you do this," but the reason was it allowed me to control it because otherwise I'm like, someone's looking at me and thinks that I have one, someone doesn't know why, they think I don't know, there's something so I would always feel the need to control the situation and by calling attention to it. And I've only recently recognized that I would do that. I would like
It's so amazing. I think this is why life gets better in the second half, honestly. What is exactly what you're saying. It's like who knew that you would emotionally like grow and sprout almost, at our ages,
right.
really.
Yes.
You know, 50 something we're
Yeah.
figuring out like almost like the joy of life.
I know. Maybe it's
That
because
it
we've been
doesn't
pruned enough
maybe.
with
I
enough failures or enough failure.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I was watching the news, doing my mundane laundry folding, and I saw this woman, Dr. Sue Varma, and she was talking about her book, Practical Optimism. And I don't remember much about anything, but something stuck with me, and it was called what she called the reversed bucket list.
Yes.
Have you heard of it?
Yes. I almost
And
think I have read the book.
yeah, and
Yes.
it really stuck
recent.
with me. And so actually I turned off the TV and I was folding my laundry and I thought, okay, I'm going to do this right now. And I went way back, like way back, and I started to think of all of the things that I've accomplished and anybody in their life. We're all living. There's got to be thousands of things for all of us.
Yes.
And when you do that, you feel so full,
Totally.
And the
Yes.
things that popped in my head, the ones that really popped in there that I was most proud of were the ones that didn't come easy.
Yeah.
The ones that were difficult.
Right.
The ones that were trying. Right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
the one, for me, again, having just given this speech about like harnessing impossible dreams and exactly what you said, sort of we never stop becoming, like,
Mhm.
because I thought 5 years ago that I had become everything I would become.
Yeah. Oh, well, me too.
I thought I was like, in sort of going through the reverse bucket list, I was like, my gosh, okay, well, what?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But so love that because the ones that you look at are to me are absolutely the ones that were hard and the ones that you never would have imagined.
Yeah.
The ones that you just like it, it's stunning really when
Mhm.
you think about that. Like it's like how did this happen?
Right.
Um so I love that and the more present we are, the more we allow for those things, I think.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Yeah.
focused in on your failures, you are not leaving any space for your next success.
That's right. That's absolutely true.
Mhm.
Because you can't have success from that space.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
Mm-mm. All right. So this was a great question to talk about. Huge thank you to our listener who submitted it. So much fun to think about these. Don't you think, Lori, not only like as we're, thinking about it pre-podcast and then chatting, like it helps each of us grow.
It sure does.
Right?
It
So I'm like,
does.
thank you, listeners, for helping
Yeah.
us grow and recognize ourselves.
It's been my favorite question so far.
Oh, I
I
love
don't know,
that.
it's timely
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah.
some things going on in my life, so it's really it happened at a good moment, so
Oh,
thank you
that's
for the
great.
question, yeah.
So please, using our website or links on social media, you can submit a question to us or a topic that you want to hear us chat about. But Lori, as always, a pleasure chatting with you.
You too.
Thanks. Thanks to our listeners. Talk soon.
Bye.